I've never seen anything like it.
The Sci-Fi Channel has exclusive access to the new series of Sightings.
Why would 62 children lie?
I have seen what I've seen.
No mystery is closed.
Many of them resemble galaxies.
To the open mind.
Something external is actually placing them there.
This is the most compelling evidence to date.
The Making of Sightings, a Sci-Fi Channel special. Next Monday at 9 on the Sci-Fi Channel.
We don't really take a point of view as to whether or not there's been an alien abduction, a UFO sighting, a ghost coming into someone's house. We tell the story and let the viewer make up their own mind. I think that people appreciate that. The answer lies in you.
Welcome to Sightings. I'm Tim White. One summer day in 1908, in a remote region of Siberia called Tunguska, 800 square miles of virgin forest were flattened in an instant. The explosion had the power of 2,000 nuclear bombs and sent pressure waves around the planet twice. Few people outside Russia have been allowed to investigate Tunguska, but now our Sightings team has been granted unprecedented access. What they've found is evidence of an otherworldly power that could strike again. Imagine a 10-megaton bomb with 2,000 times the power that destroyed Hiroshima. Imagine feeling the shock waves from that explosion halfway across the globe, and then the next day feeling them again. Imagine devastation so widespread it would have consumed all of New York City in less than a minute. Now, know that it all happened in 1908. Tsar Nicholas II ruled Imperial Russia. World War I was still to be fought, and nuclear weapons weren't even a dream. And yet the explosion that decimated the remote Tunguska region of Siberia resembled a nuclear blast in a number of uncanny ways. Some scientists insist the nightmare of destruction was the result of a comet that exploded above Earth. But other experts believe that an extraterrestrial craft from an advanced civilization is somehow responsible. For 86 years, the debate has continued, but there is still no consensus. Comet theorists need a crater. Ufologists need just one shred of physical evidence. But whether the Tunguska blast was a comet, meteor, or an alien craft, scientists are worried. Will it happen again somewhere else? How do we prepare for a cataclysmic event like this when we don't understand its origins? Professor Nikolai Vasilyev is a renowned Russian scientist who has made more than 30 trips to the epicenter.
This isn't Russia's problem. Tunguska affects the whole world and all of the mankind. It doesn't pose a great danger only to Russia, but rather for mankind as a whole. This isn't a fictional tale, nor flight of fancy. I base my opinions on facts obtained from my work on Tunguska problems. I don't want to scare our viewing audience. The situation is to a great extent ambiguous and highly serious.
Recently, the Shoemaker-Levy 9 comet made a crater on Jupiter the size of Earth. 50,000 years ago, a meteorite did this in Arizona. In Tunguska, whatever happened in 1908 only did this. No crater has ever been found. Moscow was the first stop for our Sightings investigative team. There, we met the scientists who support the party line. Although they cannot explain why there is no crater at the blast site, they still insist it was a comet that hit Tunguska.
I am a staunch supporter of the comet hypothesis, and I think that there is no serious proof to refute it. It does have several problems.
As a geochemist, Professor Kolesnikov is trying to solve these problems using existing theories. He admits he isn't getting any closer to a definitive answer. Instead, there are just more unanswered questions.
There was mutation. We are researching this. It is possible that all objects in the epicenter were exposed to a small dose of X-ray radiation.
X-ray radiation is one of the known byproducts of a nuclear explosion. Did Russia have atomic bomb technology at the turn of the century? Highly unlikely. Who then had the technology to create this kind of devastation? From Moscow, we flew 1,900 miles into the heart of the mystery, into Tunguska itself. a journey no American television crew has ever attempted. After a 6-kilometer hike, our team reached what is believed to be ground zero.
This rock was placed here by one of the early Tunguska expeditions in 1928.
Our guide in Tunguska was Vitaly Voronov, a Siberian native whose ties to the areas date back 3 centuries. He has collected an oral history of the Tunguska explosion. Voronov is a vital link to those who actually witnessed the cataclysm that must have seemed like the end of the world.
One eyewitness told me he was riding a stallion when he heard what sounded like cannon shots. When he looked up, he saw a body glowing like the sun. It began declining towards the horizon for maybe 15 or 20 seconds. There were many small explosions on the object. It ended with one heavy explosion. The force of the explosion was so strong, the man and the horse were knocked to the ground 15 miles away.
Sightings also heard the retelling of a first-hand account of the explosion. A local spiritual leader, a shaman, said as a young boy, he was running away from the blast when he saw something fly out of the epicenter. A cylinder with sparks shooting out of it. The cylinder flew over the shaman's head and into outer space. Could this cylinder have caused the blast? Yuri Lovbin believes he has found evidence to support the theory that Tunguska was the site of an alien encounter gone awry. He has unearthed masses of anomalous matter.
In the beginning, we found small fragments buried deep in the earth. But there was nothing on the surface, no fragments at all. All trees collapsed, and over many years, everything went underground.
Chemical analysis reveals that these rock-like fragments have a silicon coating, the same kind of material used as heat shielding on our space shuttles. Lovbin believes these large masses are actually exploded fragments from the exterior of a UFO.
It is possible that this could be a ship from another planet, an intergalactical ship which was riveted with silicon. And we found its thick-walled casing, used to protect the craft from the high temperatures of the stars.
Lovbin's most intriguing piece of evidence, however, was not found at the crash site. It was discovered months later, embedded in one of the fragments.
I took pincers and extracted this object. Here it is. It was surrounded by crystal light, transparent and non-transparent particles.
Has Lovbin found the first physical evidence of an extraterrestrial spacecraft? He has compared his sample with metals commonly found on Earth and in meteorites. So far, there is no match. The fragment continues to undergo rigorous metallurgical testing. When analysis is complete, Sightings will report the findings to you. There are so many theories because the Tunguska event has no precedent. No known natural phenomenon can adequately explain this event, so even mainstream scientists admit they're looking in a new direction.
Can we hope to obtain an explanation of Tunguska using classical conceptions? 10 years ago, I would have definitely answered yes. Now, I'm doubtful that it can be explained without resorting to non-classical conceptions.